Here we are.
Yes.
There you go. Just making
Here
sure
we are.
loud enough.
Welcome.
Taylor Swift talking about the paper. CJ texted me about it.
Oh, really? What'd she say?
She said it twice actually.
Yeah.
There was one on the Graham Norton show that her and Donald Gleason was on in the UK.
What? Oh, that's a UK show?
And then she did it on Fallon as well. Said it's one of her favorite things she's watching.
Wow.
Which is wild.
Yeah. And
Hard to
it's
imagine.
it's good
like-
too because whoever programs her also likes the show.
Sure. It's hard to imagine people that are that famous like doing anything.
Normal stuff. Yeah.
Doing anything.
Doing anything.
Doing
Well,
anything at all.
Going to the bathroom?
Any of it.
Yeah. What
So
is
the idea that like anybody like, whatever.
just
You
sitting
like her,
around
you like
watching
her,
TV?
you don't. But like anybody like that's just like flipping around.
What is
Hard to imagine.
what is the famous level that you have to be for you to not be able to imagine somebody doing normal stuff? Like, what is the minimum amount of fame?
Paul Rudd.
Okay, I saw him
Paul
come out
Rudd's
of the movies alone.
Paul Rudd's the median.
I
He's the
saw him
middle.
come-
He's right, and above Paul Rudd, I'm like, I can't imagine it. But Paul Rudd, I'm like, you're the last one I got.
I saw him coming out of there's a movie theater in University City near that grocery store. I forget what movie theater it is, right near Marathon Grill. But I went to see that Quentin Tarantino Nazi movie. What was it called?
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. And coming out of Inglourious Bastards was Paul Rudd by
Very
himself.
nice.
Yeah. I think he was filming a movie in Philly at the time.
Sounds right.
He's short.
Most people are.
Yeah.
A lot of actors are short.
Yeah.
Is there
Good looking guy, though.
Big time.
Yeah.
is there another person on planet Earth that would provide a larger single human bump
Endorsement. Yeah.
to a work of art like the paper that would, like, per person, how many people are going to watch the show now because
No
of
idea.
this bump? I would probably rank Taylor Swift top 5.
I would say top 5. Yeah.
And maybe. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I have no
Yeah.
idea. I have no
Her
idea
fans
what.
are psychos.
I
Psychotic.
think all fans on that level, maybe even perhaps Sixers fans. Probably not. But if you're like a rock solid stan of someone,
Yeah.
hard to relate to anybody. There's plenty of them all over the place.
went-
Politicians, music, whatever. People just
I once tweeted about Miley Cyrus being better than her, and one of her fans sent me a DM on Instagram with my address and a picture of my dog. So,
Jesus.
so I think hers
Wow.
hers are probably crazier than Sixers fans, but I haven't met all the Sixers fans too, and I
The
wouldn't be
Sixers fans are just crazier in a different way.
Yeah, right.
Certainly, I don't know that there's any like Sixers stans.
Right,
at this
right,
point.
right. Yeah. All right, let's go. On the show today, what are we? 2 weeks away? 2 weeks away from the Sixers? We haven't had basketball from the Sixers, real regular season basketball, since April. It's October. So what we're going to do today is we are going to relive all of the playoff failures of the process era, maybe some other failures, in an attempt to revisit them and try to exorcise the demons completely. That way we can move
as
forward.
much as we can. Yeah.
Yes. And that way we can move forward and potentially have a good year. Maybe this is what we needed to do all along. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS, and brought to you by Briggs Auction, the official auction of the process at briggsauction.com. BodyBio, get 20% off any BodyBio order with promo code August at bodybio.com. Anthony Degli Obizzi, Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky. Set up a consultation by texting Ricky to 484-471-4873. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Fly the Process is going to New Orleans in February of 2026, 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, with fans of Philly. It'll be a good time. because New Orleans is a fun town. If you've never been, spooky town, good food town, 2.5 hours of a Sixers game. The whole trip, Fans of Philly takes care of everything, wherever you're flying from. Just go to rightstorickysanchez.com/fly. You can reserve your spot for $150, pay it off the rest over time. And even if you're already in New Orleans, there are packages for that too. Again, rightstorickysanchez.com/fly. Bark in the Park is Saturday. We are at $17,222 raised. Goal is $20,000. Save homeless animals, Providence Animal Center. Animals, look, they can't get jobs. They can't get their own homes. That's why we have to help them. Providence Animal Center does it. The event is Saturday at Rose Tree Park. If I don't see you there, that's okay. You could still donate, help us get to, all right, if we need $2,800, that's just 100 people donating $28. Seems pretty easy. So donate $28. The link is in the description of the pod. Thank you to our sponsors, Mortgage CS, LL Pavorsky Jewelers, Scheib Vintage Sports, Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, and Barker Therapeutic Dog Beds. Speaking of Surfside, well, our baseball season might be almost over, but it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy Surfside past the baseball season, into the holiday season, through the holiday season, and into the spring. From the spring into the summer, there's nothing better than a cold Surfside. Nothing. It's only 100 calories, only 2 grams of sugar, whatever variety you like. Green tea and vodka, maybe lemonade and vodka, maybe raspberry tea and vodka. Not my favorite, that one, but some people really, really love it. Check out all the different flavors at drinksurfside.com. You can get it wherever you get your canned cocktails. You got to be 21. Please enjoy it responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy that writes Taylor Swift's new favorite sitcom. That is Mike Levin.
Tough few days in sports
In Philly. Yes, especially led with the 2 losses in Abu Dhabi.
2 losses in Abu Dhabi. 2 losses at Citizens Bank Park.
Yep.
1 loss at the Link.
Yep.
My co-ed team lost in the playoffs last night.
Oh, no.
Just a tough sports situation all around.
Wait a minute.
I don't think
what does that have to do with Philly? You're in Los Angeles.
I'm from Philadelphia, so it has to do with Philly. I'm on this podcast, so it counts.
Okay. All right.
Also,
All right.
Jake Dvorsky's on the team.
Well,
so that's 2.
The Philadelphia Union won the
don't
Shield.
Don't union me.
It's
the one union I don't care about.
They have more points than any other regular season team in the NMLS. It's a big deal. They went from worst to first, I think.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying it's one good thing that happened. Maybe it's the first of many things, you know?
I'm happy for those people. Good
wow, what disrespect.
I don't care. I've never cared about the Union. Never cared about them. Not a soccer guy.
So
R.I.P.
Before we get to the exorcism of our past Sixers failures, we are 2 weeks away. It has been since April, since we've talked about a Sixers game. It is amazing we do this podcast 2 times a week.
Remarkable.
Are you just, before we get going to the old stuff, would you describe yourself as generally optimistic, generally pessimistic, or you don't know what to feel about this coming Sixers season? Just a vibe check is all I'm looking for, really.
It's fair. I like all things with the Sixers. I feel a bunch of things at once. I wish that there was one easy answer, but I feel like a little excited about the things that I'm excited about, a little spitefully hoping, despite myself, that like everybody in the world is out on the Sixers. Everyone is like feels personally attacked by the Sixers, and maybe this will be the year that it just fucking to fuck you. It happens, and it, you know, they're healthy at the right time, that kind of thing. But also, man, the PG injury already, the McCain injury already, the Grimes situation being resolved the way it was. You know, Joel hasn't played yet. It's already just like, what are they? We're staring down the barrel of 82 fucking games, and are these motherfuckers going to do it to us again?
Yeah.
So it's all of those things. It's definitely not just one.
I did bet them to win the East at DraftKings, and I bet them over 45.5 wins. I was feeling a little saucy, and I thought to myself,
The over-under was 45.5?
no, the over-under is 42.5, but there wasn't enough juice there for it, I think.
Okay.
So I think I bet over 45 and over 45.
Okay, so that is the bet for last year was a fluke. And even with Embiid playing his normal amount of games, they will be back to that kind of team, which they were for the 7 years prior to last year.
Right, as you've reminded us that he was good just a year ago. Or
Well, and the
whatever.
team, I was saying just for the win total.
Right.
Even
Yes,
though
yes,
he
yes.
missed a lot of games, there were over the course of those seasons,
Let's
15,
see.
20, 30 games, whatever.
Regular season wins, the Sixers are at, oh, man, hold on. Regular season wins. There we go. The Sixers are at, let's see, they have it ranked by wins. Wow, the Sixers are actually ahead of the Celtics. Yeah, the Sixers are 42.5. The Celtics are 41.5, and I got plus 170 at over 45.5. So there you go.
There you go. We'll
There you
see.
go. There you go.
We'll see, man.
If you had to,
here
last
we
thing,
go.
last thing. If you had to bet your life on it, you're gonna die if you're wrong. Would you bet on the Sixers winning more games this year or the Celtics winning more games this year?
If I'm gonna die,
If you're wrong,
I would bet on the Celtics.
okay, all right, yeah, me too. I thought that was a little funny. So this was a good mic idea for one of our last August pods. As you know, August has ended, but it is still going on. Again, there hasn't been a real game since April. And that is to,
Well, there hasn't been a real game since well before April.
well, yes, an official game, I guess, since April. I mean, that's a really long time. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Almost 7 months, 6 months.
You're not going to get much more month counting from any other podcast than this.
Well, it is just so much longer than it has ever been, especially when you consider they stopped trying to play with 25 games left in the season. It's just been a really long time. So we are going back through all of the Sixers playoff failures, reliving it, try to put ourselves in the brain space of where we were, maybe try to resolve it a little bit, and then exercise it from our vibes and try to go into the season with positive vibes. If we have time, some weird stuff, non-playoff failures. I don't know. We don't need clips for that, but we can certainly revisit a little bit. So
This was an idea that I had, I think about a year ago exactly. And if you remember, I said on the podcast, hey, I have an idea for the playoffs and I'll tell CJ about it. It's something for CJ to do.
Okay.
And then they didn't make the playoffs last year. I don't know if you guys remember. They didn't do it.
No, they did not. Just this close.
This close. I was
Missed
going to
it by
do
that much.
the thing I wanted to do was clips from the podcast after the elimination. And so maybe if they make the playoffs this year, we do that podcast right before.
Oh, that
where
would
it's
be fun
us,
too.
Us reacting. Here's
I think
CJ
that-
popping up.
I think that was the inspiration for that alternate "We Were Wrong" intro video that we had for a bit that featured your
No.
reaction to.
But the old
Losing.
podcasts are not on the internet anymore. They can't be found anywhere. So how
That's
would
correct.
we do that? Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
send you the Google Drive folder.
Fully scrubbed.
Mhm.
Yeah. So 2018.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Embiid's first real season.
Embiid's first real season. The over/under, I believe, for the Sixers this year was 41, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And then this is the season where this is the season where Embiid is hurt at the end of the year, right?
Yes,
and
Embiid's
they
hurt at the
win
end of the
16
year.
straight.
They win 16 straight on the back of Ben Simmons. Surround him with shooters. Ben Simmons.
Yeah, small ball five.
Bellinelli and Ilyasova. Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
You got JJ.
yeah.
You got just Ben running wild, driving and kicking. They won 52 games that season.
They were a sensation. They were a sensation. I distinctly, because at the time I was still listening to the Bill Simmons podcast, and I remember him doing it as Bill Simmons way, that are we sure the Sixers aren't going to win the East? And there we are. So
Dario and Covington were there.
Yes.
TJ. This was the Fultz triple-double in the last game of the regular season.
Yep.
A backup
And-
center, Amir Johnson, all the good stuff.
And this is the series where they benched Covington, right? This is just, if I'm remembering correct, this is the TJ game series.
Yeah, Covington did not have a good series.
Yeah, but what they're actually doing, and I will go to my grave saying this, is they're benching Covington, but they were putting a real point guard on the floor too, and that with TJ, and that's how we got the TJ game. So here is our thank you to CJ for.
Can I just?
Yeah.
We've done this before. We had this argument 7 million times. I think I don't think your real point guard was wrong. The issue for me was not that Simmons wasn't a point guard. It's that he couldn't penetrate and get to the basket. Like, that was the bigger issue for me, and that's what TJ does do. Simmons can distribute, obviously, and he's helpful in that way, but he just never in the half court setting actually broke anyone down and got to the basket. And he did it
Like
less
a
and
point
less
guard.
as the season goes. Yeah, no, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's wrong.
Okay.
I'm saying that the part of the thing that they were missing with Simmons was the penetrate and get to the basket, which
Yes.
plenty of non-point guards do.
Oh, sure, yes.
And
yeah.
Simmons didn't and couldn't and did less of as his career went on.
Oh, less and less and less of, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So here is our, CJ went back and found some video of how these seasons ended, and here is a monumental one that is deep in Sixers lore, process lore.
Here we go.
Regulation. Sixers down 2.
So this is
Bellinelli
game
back in
5
for McConnell for the
Game
offensive
3
possession.
of Sixers
Philly out
Celtics.
of
Sixers down
timeouts.
2.
Here's Bellinelli. Catch and shoot, and it's good! They rule it a 2, and we're going to overtime.
But
Where is the confetti?
Marco Bellinelli sends it to an extra session. They've mobbed the floor here, but they again ruled it a 2. They're going to go to the monitor to see
And there's the
if
confetti.
the call on the floor was correct. I think the Sixers thought the game was over. They thought they won the game with a 3, but it was called a 2 on the floor.
a lot of stunned
So
people in the audience.
So here's the funniest part to me. I was at that game, and I was in a suite in the corner, the
Yep.
mid-level ones or whatever.
You've said
And-
this. You could tell.
Yeah, it was very clear it wasn't a 3
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
where I was standing, and I was hundreds of feet away.
Yeah.
So it was always so, and remember, I'm not listening to the broadcast or whatever. So I was always so confused because I was sure that it was only a 2. So
Yeah.
yep.
If that went in as a 3, if his foot was a couple inches behind the line, people talk about the Durant toe that would have
Yes.
taken the Nets over Milwaukee and how that would have been so different for them and the world and everything. Giannis maybe wouldn't be a Buck, and maybe Durant would still be in Brooklyn, and Harden, all the what ifs. I do think if that shot was a 3 and they just won that game, what could have been different? It would have been 2-1 in the series, but if the TJ wins the next game, then it's 2-2. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe they do it, man. I don't know. There was something special about that team. There was a youthful ignorance
Well,
that had they not gone down 3-0, maybe would have changed everything. I don't know.
and that is the joy of low expectations.
That's right.
But
the expectations were raised because of the 16 games in a row.
yeah, but I think we were still. Now this was the Covington lottery party year,
Yes.
where we were scared that he was going to get booed. And is this, if I remember, is this the we're fucked It had
I
to
think
be
so.
the pod. It
Yeah,
had
you
to
said
be.
it. You said it right away, dude.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a
Which like obviously you turned out to be right, but you could have said that on the first podcast that we ever did together. And
you
it just
won't
would've been
ever
like, I
give me
guess.
credit for being right about anything.
You were, because so many things had changed since then that I think that the point, all we had of the context was at that moment, you were like, we're fucked. And I think too many things happened that we got fucked in so many different ways that like you didn't foresee all of it. So I thought at the time, only
You're
talking about
so
at the time.
brutal. You would say that you were right if you had said it. My bigger
I don't think I would.
my
I wouldn't
bigger-
have said it. That was the first playoff for anybody, and I thought it was very premature to say that, knowing all of it. And all we have is the information we had at the time, and I think even though they have sucked since then and found new ways for it to go wrong, I don't think that.
But it was a Celtics thing. It was like, look at the guys that they have at this age. If
But the Celtics they've only been to 2 finals in those since then, right? 2? They won 1 and lost 1 to the Warriors.
Didn't they?
I think they
Only
won
2
1, lost 1.
finals. Is that what we're saying? Only 2 finals.
No. But I'm saying that's 8 years ago. So the 6 years that the Celtics didn't go to the finals, the Sixers could have done it. It wasn't like the Celtics it's been a reign of dominance of 8 years.
This is brutal. This one and the Ben Simmons one.
No, I'm serious. I'm not. This is not me being. If it was just, you were saying we're fucked because the Celtics are so good. The Celtics have been good, obviously, but they haven't been like the Warriors dynasty that like nobody wanted to like go for it anymore. I think that's the point that you were making at the time, which is why I was like, I don't see how you can feel this.
It's outrageous. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Briggs Auction. If you are not a fool, if you're a smart person, you will download the Briggs Auction app in Google Play or the App Store. And you say to yourself, why? Well, because there are auctions every week like Briggs Auction has a sale every week, these auctions of hundreds of items in every category you can imagine. And look, sometimes people go in there looking for furniture or looking for an art piece or something like that. My vibe is you go in there not knowing what you're looking for until you find it. That is the thing. Tons of auction items, many of them starting at just $1. Here's CJ's Briggs Auction item of the week.
One of my favorite things about scrolling on Briggs Auction is seeing what hobbies people have and decided to maybe give up that hobby and like downsize or get rid of their things.
Like there's always a coins one.
There's always a coins one. There was a stamps one on this lot. And I saw this and I saw the title. It's a collection of books and it says books on book collecting and collectors. And I'm reading the covers and I'm like, oh, are these books that just you keep on your shelf to make it seem like they're fake books? Because a lot of the titles, and there are 3 different lots of books on book collecting. And a lot of them are like modern book collecting or various titles with books in them. And then I realized this is just a hobby that people have of collecting books and want to read more books about the art of collecting books. I didn't know this was a thing before.
These are books about collecting books.
Yes.
Wow.
And there's dozens of them on this Briggs lot alone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of vinyl in like LPs in the one where the sale that ends on the 10th. I would recommend checking it out. Again, download the app, Google Play or the App Store. Go to briggsauction.com. You win a lot. Super easy. You just head down there on Saturday, open pickup, maybe appointment during the week. Maybe they work with you on a shipper. And if you have, a collection of collectibles to get rid of, maybe there's vehicles in the new one too. I think there's an SUV in there. Whatever you have, maybe a long lost relative passed away and left you their home full of stuff, and you're like, what should I do? You go to Briggs Auction. Send an email to info@briggsauction.com. Briggs Auction, the official auction of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. So I think it's fair to say after 2018, all things considered, there was a general optimism about the Philadelphia 76ers. They had outperformed expectations. We had 2 young stars who had just won 52 games. So by and large, there was optimism.
Do you know what happened like a month after that or a couple was Burnergate.
No, Burnergate was it 2018?
Yeah, dude. It was the summer of 2018.
Oh my god.
Because they drafted Zaire that year.
Oh, you're right. So, you know what's funny? I for some reason in my brain had Hinkey's stupid, but had Hinkey's resignation and Burnergate closer to each other than they actually were.
I think Hinkey was April 2016.
16, yeah, and this is 2018.
Burnergate would have been summer 2018, so a little over 2 years.
Wow. And Burnergate, just real quickly before we get to the next year, I will never forget waking up on my couch and looking at my phone and seeing several texts and seeing the story.
Yeah.
And being so confused by it that I went back to sleep because I knew I couldn't deal with it right at that moment. And then I was
having drinks. Me and Pat were having drinks with another writer at a restaurant called Simsy's in Burbank. And I went to pee and I looked at my phone for the first time and I saw stuff and I was like, a lot of text, and I was reading the Ringer article and I was like, what? What is this?
You couldn't figure out if it was really bad or if it was just an
really
internet story.
Parse.
Yeah.
Yes. And then obviously that night was pretty crazy because that was the night that, like, you know, Sixers Adam and Legs and everybody else on Sixers Twitter were doing all the recon, and it was just like, what a special moment. So anyway, that we're not talking about that specifically, but that is, you know, the Sixers finally, Embiid plays a full season. The Sixers make the playoffs. They win 16 in a row.
Ben Simmons' first season.
Ben Simmons' first season, disappointment against Boston. A 5-game series that was, we've always said, a lot closer than 5. It was a 5-game series, but those games, okay, but I'll take it on that. I've always said that it was a close 5, and then immediately after, the good vibes of that, or what was left of them, instantly gone, and because of like the chaos in the Sixers front office, they're not being named a GM, them having to go into the draft right after that, them drafting Mikal Bridges, talking to his mom, employee of the team, immediately trading him for Zaire Smith. And it's just like, God, so many like stepping on rakes.
Which we supported at the time, the trade. You know, we both liked Mikal Bridges, but you know, getting the extra first-round pick, I think we both also liked Zaire Smith. Didn't foresee him, you know, almost dying and losing.
No, not quite
50 pounds. But
if they drafted Zaire Smith and you were like, we're fucked, and you did like, he's gonna have a sesame allergy, he's not gonna know about it. Like, if you knew that, I'd be like, hey man, hats off to you. But it's like they traded down from 10 to 18 and picked up an unprotected first. That's just a good trade. Now, obviously value wise, Mikal was a lot better than Zaire was, obviously, and would be good to have him.
If you are not, and we'll go to 2018, 2019 now. If you're not a long-time Ricky listener, meaning that if you don't go back to Burnergate, the Burnergate 3 weeks of pods are probably some of the best pods we've ever done, ever.
They might be indecipherable of what we're talking about or how we're getting through it. I don't remember saying anything I'm saying. And that's like the mid from the start of the pod to now. Burnergate is like the midpoint.
Yes, and I just remember the almost like the personal bloodlust of smelling that we could get rid of Colangelo and knowing that we had to push. You know, that this was our opportunity.
That's right. There were a few days where we didn't know if they were going to get rid of him.
The law firm that specializes in these types of things.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we head into 2018, 2019, full of optimism generally. Mm-hmm. And this is the year that the 76ers, which trade happens first? Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So I will remember it was in October because I was at Bark in the Park on the stage where 2 Ricky listeners, we were doing a pet costume contest, and 2 Ricky listeners in the crowd told me that the Sixers had just traded Dario and Covington for Jimmy Butler. And
remember the third?
Dario?
We did a fly the process to go see him. Dario, Covington, and Jared Bayless.
Oh, right. All right.
It was an objectively very good trade.
Yeah. Yes. In retrospect, it hurt, and that also a good pod era. I did not want them to trade for Jimmy Butler, but they, it made sense, and then they end up trading that first round pick that we just talked about in the that they got in the Zaire Smith deal to the Clippers with Landry Shamet and another first round pick. And there must have been another player in there. I can't remember who it was, for Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting season too. We sometimes forget the ups and the downs of Jimmy Butler, in that we went through the Jimmy refuses to take threes period. I don't know if you remember that. The Jimmy calls out Brett Brown in the team meeting period. It was a roller coaster that year.
Definite roller coaster.
Yeah.
Imperfect, but they go into the playoffs. They win their first playoff series of the process era. They beat the Nets in 5.
Yep. Not a good team.
Yeah. And then they go and play the Toronto Raptors, and
that had the Greg Monroe game.
They had the Greg Monroe starts a playoff game.
Yeah.
And we know what happened then. And CJ, show it to us for the expunging of the demons, please.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
Oh, an insane way for a ball to bounce.
Game series.
An insane way for a ball to bounce, dude. It's never happened before.
Looks at the clock, turns the corner.
It's like the double doink of basketball.
It's nothing. It's so much worse than that. It's unbelievable. Balls don't do that, dude. Nothing does that. If he shot a fucking slinky, it would have bounced more normal than that.
It
was four bounces, and it comes in on the fifth one. Yeah. And I appreciate CJ not showing the beginning of that play where Kawhi did walk, because he knew how I would talk about it and not shut up about it. But CJ didn't play it, so I will not bring it up.
Good news. Yeah, you didn't bring it up.
Didn't bring it up. Because CJ dictated it as such.
So
yeah, that was
where
brutal,
were
man.
you? Where were you watching that game?
I was at my parents' place, and I just fell to the ground. And then we did the podcast. I was on the ground that entire podcast. I just laid on the carpet in my. There was like 1 year, like a year and a half, that my parents had this like in between phase from my childhood home, and like where they live now. That is more like, okay, this is where they're gonna be for the rest of their lives. There was a middle like apartment that they didn't like, that was just sort of, and so like, my memory of this apartment is really just this shot is really like the ultimate thing that happened from there. And I remember the feeling of the carpet as I'm like my cheek is on the side of it, and I'm doing this fucking podcast talking about that shot and how broken it is. I said they would have, and still say that they would have won in overtime.
What did Danny
Green
say?
said I don't remember what he said. He thinks he probably still would have won.
Yeah.
And we heard from somebody else who we can't say.
I was wondering if you were going to. Yeah.
Yeah. We heard from somebody else that also thought the Sixers were going to win. So.
Yeah. So I was I was in me and my wife's first house in Springfield, Delaware County. I was sitting on the couch with my laptop. Mm-hmm. My wife was in the room, not watching the game, as the last Sixers team that she liked had Andre Iguodala, Lou Williams, and Drew Holiday on it. Elton, mm-hmm. She loved that team. And the shot goes in, and I'm sitting there, and I must have been looking fucking like blank and psychotic, because she said, "What just happened?" And I said, "Watch." And she watched it, and she said, "Oh God." Like, even for somebody who was not watching basketball, who had no context of the series, knew that shot was outrageous. And, that is, I think it's that team and the team that lost to the Celtics 2 years ago that people see as the two teams that had a real
Yeah.
chance if they had gone further. It would have been weird if that team had, given that they traded for 2 players during the season that were starters. That's not really a thing that happens, but
Sure.
you know, from a talent standpoint, they're probably the best team.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid didn't play his best basketball. Marc Gasol was really hard for Embiid to solve defensively, and that was still the like crazy plus minus series for Joel, where when he was off the court. I mean, that whole team, that was like this whole era is really defined by how good of a starting 5 that they've had in pretty much every season, almost entirely due to Joel, but like the starting 5 always put up crazy numbers. This team's depth was just dog shit. James Ennis was the 6th man of this team. Mike Scott. And then you get to Greg Monroe, Boban, and Amir Johnson, who were all just like entertaining the idea of being a backup 5.
Pretty
none of them could do it. Jonah Bolden, Jonathan Simmons, Korkmaz, and then a TJ who, you know, they should have trusted more, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the torture of this era is like, I think now, and even in the past couple of seasons, the depth has been better, but the top players have not played as well. You know, the end of Ben, Harden, you know, you can Tobias, like you could go around, but like the depth lately has been better than the depth was there, and then the starters are not cut out for it right
Speaking of Tobias, do you remember that he scored 0 points in his final playoff game for the Sixers?
For the Sixers? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez.
We'll get there.
Yeah. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by BodyBio. We got a good BodyBio email. This is from Connor. Spike, Mike, CJ, I wanted to write you all with a testimony about BodyBio. I'm a physical therapist in Paoli, and multiple patients have reported persistent cramps to me. I've been recommending Elite, and the results have been fantastic. One patient told me today she hasn't had a cramp at night in 2 weeks since starting Elite. Can't think of a better endorsement than that. Shout out BodyBio. I love Elite. Elite has become a staple. Elite is electrolytes to keep you hydrated at the right level. Being hydrated, if you know, is not just water. It is the right amount of electrolytes. And the good thing is you don't need to drink sports drinks with artificial flavors, artificial colors, sugar, all that stuff. Elite, you just take a spoonful of it, put in your water in the morning, water in the evening, and it keeps you perfectly hydrated. I used to have pretty bad cramping problems. I would get them in my feet, in my calves sometimes when I was driving, and Elite has solved it. So many great products from BodyBio, a local family-owned company that cares about quality. Everything meets their standards before it goes out, not like that stuff that you see at the drugstore that's been sitting on the shelves covered in dust, not BodyBio. From sodium butyrate for gut health, remineralized to keep your cells full of good minerals and keep your cells healthier. Just liposomal vitamin C, calm, all these great products at BodyBio. If you go to bodybio.com and use code August, you get 20% off anyone at any time. That is code August at bodybio.com. BodyBio, we love you, BodyBio, and thanks for the note, Connor. So this is, it's you know, the previous offseason was the first showing us what off seasons would be like. Mm-hmm. But this offseason, after this year, was a good continuation of that, knowing that Jimmy Butler was unhappy. You know, we would later, you know, at the time, it sort of seemed like a Brett Brown or Jimmy Butler thing, but pretty notable that the day that they signed and traded Jimmy Butler is when Ben Simmons signed his extension.
Yeah,
it did seem like it was a Jimmy or Ben thing. There have always been rumors that Elton Brand proposed a trading of Ben and got shot down from it. We will never know the truth there, but Elton, if you ever would like to tell me that, I would like to know the truth.
Come on the pod.
Yeah, come on the pod.
There's so many things from this era, and I'll just put it on myself, where at the time you really can make the case for the thing that they did.
Yes, individually, all of them. The Jimmy Butler one is an easy one to make the case for.
Yes,
you know, in retrospect.
And then right away, you feel so fucking stupid that you made that case.
Yes.
Horford, Jimmy, later, I mean, like giving Embiid and PG the contracts that they did or the extensions that they did, and then obviously it all falling apart. Yeah.
It's always framed as, well, yeah, of course you do this.
Yes,
you know?
Even Harden to some extent. The trading away of James Harden, which I like the trade, and I do think that trade will benefit us as the picks don't come for a few years still, and who knows what'll happen with the Clippers. But Harden being as good as he was been for LA is a little bit like, and there being times last season and the season before where you're like, would have been nice to have somebody who can pass a little bit, and run optimum pick and roll. There's just like a bunch of those kinds of things where like at the time you could have like even, you know, Daryl talks about this and like there was never a Halliburton discussion for Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And it's not like the way he frames it is he's not like he chose Harden over Halliburton.
Right.
But that like maybe he should have pushed for Halliburton more because Halliburton was traded for Sabonis that same offseason. And Halliburton has since led a team to the NBA Finals and is clearly awesome as hell. And Tyrese would have been cool. Anyway, we're going ahead, but just the idea of like this offseason is the first example of they are making wrong decisions that become evident so quickly right after like decent justification for them. And the Horford, the trading Jimmy for Josh Richardson, and giving that fat contract to Horford is like the ultimate version of that.
And you know, even you could tell that we knew in our gut that the Horford thing was wrong because we were almost making fun of the fact that we knew how wrong it was. You know, Al Horford appreciator, and like it was so wrong that the pandemic happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wear this. Like Horford, when you're playing against him, is so confoundingly always making the right play and doing the right thing and in the right place, and was so tough on Embiid defensively that I just sort of thought like this guy's the perfect role player, and we stole him from Boston, and it's just gonna work out. Like I just found it. I remember feeling like it's hard to imagine that Horford is not going to find a way to work around Joel's strengths and figure out a way to work.
As it turns out,
it just did not. It sucked so bad because I was at least like, well, the backup center problem is fixed.
Well, and the thing that I don't think we counted on is Joel didn't want Al Horford there because he played the same position as him. You know, so it didn't work. So this was the season that ends up being the COVID season.
Yep.
Right? If I remember correctly.
Yep.
Now we did get the Shake Milton game in this season.
Beautiful.
You know? And then we got a pause, and as the NBA shut down, we did a podcast with Kevin O'Connor in which we fought about whether the Patriots should have traded Tom Brady and held on to Jimmy G. There were a lot of podcasts, and then the bubble came back, and the bubble happened. That was when we finally interviewed Joel Embiid in the bubble. That was, if you've never seen the Joel pod, that was our first contact with Daryl Morey, who was on the pod from the bubble while he was president of the Rockets. Mm-hmm. After the Sixers lost this playoff thing, when we'll talk about it, we put our energy behind the Rockets, who promptly got somebody kicked out of the bubble and lost very quickly. So the Sixers go into the playoffs in the bubble without Ben Simmons, who had a knee injury.
Broken back, if I recall correctly.
Okay. And the Sixers promptly got swept by the Boston Celtics. CJ's
got it. CJ's got it.
Okay. Which one are we showing here for?
This is the Al Horford scream.
Oh yeah.
He got the matchup he wanted, played a little bully ball. Oh, go ahead, tell him.
So Al does a nice scream after a little putback layup.
Bully ball. Go ahead, tell him.
He's pumped up, and then CJ, play the other one. This is the good. This is the good stuff.
But it ended in a lot of frustration and words between Joel Embiid and Shea.
Certainly some frustrations. The Sixers find themselves down at the half. This happened at the end of the first quarter. Joel Embiid saying something to Shake Milton. Shake Milton taking serious exception to that. A little colorful language.
What did he say to him? I'll beat your ass?
No, it is. In fact, you can't see it on there, but it is. I will slap the shit out of you.
Out of you. That's what it was. Yeah.
Which is right. And Shake. I mean, Shake was 23, man. He was making like $1.50 playing for them, and he was like running point for this team. He did good. Like his numbers in this series. 14.5, 3-3 on percentages, 48 from 2, 40% from 3, 86 from the line. Like he did his thing. Josh Richardson was the second leading scorer. Tobias was there. Alec Burks, Horford, Matisse, Howell Neto. You know, it was bleak. That was a they shouldn't have had to go to the bubble because the vibes were not good.
We're not good, no. And remember, that season started off with good vibes. We had the Furcon game winner against the Blazers. Sixers started off 4-0 or 3-0 or something like that. But they started off good, and then it did not stay that way. So then we had the firing of Brett Brown, and we had the emptying of the Sixers front office to get rid of the former Colangelo folks. Most of them. And Elton Brand was elevated. So Elton Brand was already GM, but there were a lot of ghost GMs in there along with him. And they got rid of them. Doc Rivers became available. Josh Harris, flew out or whatever, flew Doc Rivers in, hired Doc Rivers. But then Daryl Morey becomes available. So, and the Sixers also hire Peter Dinwiddie, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then Daryl Morey gets hired. So then, sort of like a fever dream in Daryl Morey getting hired as Sixers president of basketball operations, I'd say,
And and so Daryl clears the deck, gets Horford out for Danny Green, trades Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. And the team is like pretty fine and normal and having like a pretty good season. Doc is simplifying things.
Well, they were number one seed, I believe.
Yep, number one seed, 49-23, but still like COVID shortened.
Yep.
And then they beat the Wizards in the first round. Not a good team.
Nope.
And then they play the Atlanta Hawks with it all laying out in front of them.
Oh, this is a painful one.
And CJ,
this is a
what
rough
happened?
One, Mike.
CJ, what happened? We've seen this enough times.
Simmons, they cleared out for him. Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari.
Oh, man, it's so fucking crazy watching it, though.
Thibault goes to the basket. Boy, Simmons, uncontested, had a layup, but he leaves it for Thibault, who makes something out of it.
And Embiid's yelling at him.
Well, but that's
like,
when
what
you
were
know
you doing?
The game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there. You got it, and I know you got it to Thibault. You got the free throws, but Ben Simmons, you got to shoot that shot. Be confident that if you do get fouled, that you can make the free throw with an and one.
Brutal. It's Trae Young was back. He was 1 foot away from the rim. You gotta dunk that stuff. That was a really rough series. I'm watching that at John Gonzalez's. I've only watched bad games with John, so maybe we don't do that again. It was Kevin Huerter was dominating, was like taking Seth Curry into the weight room over and over again.
Well, also, and the degradation. Joel had a chance to win that series in 6, not letting him off the hook, but the degradation of Ben Simmons through that series, especially in second half stats, was pretty shocking. So much so that the passed up dunk, while monumentous, somehow, when you look at the context of the series, not really all that surprising.
No, I mean, he stopped. His numbers in the fourth quarter of that series were all very obvious. He just stopped shooting. That masks over the 7-game series, Seth averaged 21 points a game. I do not remember. They shot 61% from the field and 60% from 3. Unbelievable, Seth Curry. And Tobias had a good series. He had 19.5, 7.5, 3.5 on good percentages. It was just like nothing aligned at the right time. There was always some like massive wildfire happening that we had to just keep attending to.
Yeah.
Like it's backup center, it's Ben forgetting how to shoot or being willing to do anything, and then it's Tobias being like useless and in his head. Like there's always something that just fucking.
I can't even believe that
away.
That is for like the Ben Simmons postseason thing is 40 years ago.
Yeah,
4
years ago.
Time flies when you're having a horrible time.
A horrible time. Yeah, that is a. Hey, Simmons is deeply unserious at this point. A team that is trying to win and not trying to like salvage, I don't know, reputation or pretend like nothing's the matter would not be doing this. Maxey should have played so much more in that series. Obviously, it was his rookie year and he's young and he wasn't that great of a shooter yet, but like, in the same way that TJ won them that Celtics game in that first playoff, there was a Maxey game of like, hey, he needs to play more. And Maxey played Maxey played 77 minutes in that series, and George Hill played 110.
And George Hill was our trade deadline acquisition.
He was the trade deadline acquisition. He was horrendous. Yeah, Korkmaz and Thibault played 139 and 136 minutes. Maxey played 77.
And it
like
became
that was Doc, like anti-rookie Doc stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
And if you listen to the pod after that, I think we were we knew it was the end of the Ben Simmons era after that. I mean, it became, now we didn't know how that would happen. It became a surprise. But
what is the play and / moment / feeling afterwards that feels worse to watch now, the Kawhi shot or Simmons passing up that dunk and what it all led to afterwards?
To me, it's the Simmons passed up dunk.
Interesting.
Yeah, because we did it. Like, I think it's a better representation of the era in that it's an own goal rather than the team. We got beat by a player playing out of his mind in a really good team. The Hawks fucking blew. We were celebrating that we got them, because they beat the Knicks that year in the playoffs. So we got this draw of
good draw.
They were a 7 seed or a 6 seed.
No, they were 4 or 5. We were the 1.
Okay. So anyway, it was, because we played the 8 seed because we were the 1, right? The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by your new financial planner, or if you don't have one at all, that is my guy, Anthony Degli Obizzi at a Monastra Financial Group in Delco. I trust him with my future and my money, and that would be a ringing endorsement for you to do the same. If you should plan for your future, you should have somebody. I know everyone, this is the world now. Sometimes people think they can do that stuff themselves. If you can, more power to you. I think it's all too overwhelming and all too complicated, but it's very important to have somebody, sort of like a mechanic. I don't fix my own car. I don't plan for my own future. That's what Anthony is for. I think we started using Anthony 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I had somebody that I did not like very much and didn't trust. And Anthony has been the complete opposite. He's a guy who knows his shit, makes me feel comfortable that he knows what he's talking about, will figure out what your rhythm should be, how often you want to talk about this stuff, whether it's once a quarter, once a week, once a day, whatever, what your risk tolerance is. If you just want to be set for your future and you want to be set with savings, that sort of stuff, that's what he could do. If you want to be a little more aggressive, that's what he could do for you too. And he is a good guy that is trustworthy. And if you're telling somebody to help you, invest your money and plan for your future, you need somebody trustworthy. And Anthony is all of that. And the final thing, and he always wants me to express this, is that a lot of people don't want to do this stuff. You should start this as early as possible. If you're 25 and you're going to have an extra $50 a month you could put away, you should do it. He doesn't want you to have to be somebody that takes every extra penny you have and put it away. If you want to do that, that's fine, but you don't need to do that to plan for your future. He wants you to be able to live your life now and be able to plan for the future. He's just a great dude, and I would trust him. If you're not doing this for yourself at any adult age, you should do it. What I want you to do is text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. Text Ricky to 484-471-4873. That's just his direct line. That's so he'll know you came from us. He'll get back to you. You can set up a consultation. Doesn't cost you anything, of course. Anthony is the guy. Once again, 484-471-4873. So then we get into the Ben Simmons scenario, which of
I also
course,
just want to shout out there were some brutal Gallinari makes in that series that I really still remember in very frustrating ways.
Well, I remember him killing us all the way back to the Iguodala days.
Yeah.
Iguodala, as good a defender as he was, I always thought could not defend Danilo
He just didn't
Gallinari.
need any space to get that shot off.
Yeah,
It's brutal.
a really good player, Danilo Gallinari.
Yeah.
So then the Ben Simmons thing evolves into the trade for James Harden, which I think we were pretty happy with at the time. It was a very funny Daryl podcast when he traded Ben for James Harden.
Daryl gets his guy.
We made him go frame for frame in the hug video where it seemed like Daryl was hugging James Harden more than James Harden was hugging back.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Daryl for letting us fuck with him like that. He is a good soul, even if you don't love every move that he's made. So this year ends up being, so would we beat the Nets again in the first round here?
No, this is the best playoff win in this era. This is Toronto beating the Toronto Raptors. A little bit of revenge on the Kawhi-less Raptors.
Yeah.
In 2022, this is, they had Siakam, OG, Van Vliet.
And this happened famously in that series. It was Pascal Siakam's elbow or something that breaks Joel Embiid's face.
Yeah.
There it is.
Antagonizing.
If you remember,
and we're up.
And you can see up 29 with 3:58 left.
Yeah. Sixers up 3-2. This was also, you would say, the shot that Embiid hits in this series is his biggest playoff shot, the three-pointer to win it.
The buzzer beater from the wing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. I mean, look, 4 minutes left. It's literally 4 minutes left in this game, up 29 in a closeout game. I understand it's right on the cusp, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If it was, I'm sure he was about to come out in the next minute or so.
There could have been, I don't remember, there could have been a guy waiting at the table to come in.
But honestly, dude, it's Joel. You got to be extra careful with him like that. It's not like this was a knee thing that happened. It's a freak injury, but I would have left everybody else in except for Joel. Get out of there. It's hard. It's 4 minutes left, so it's hard to do it. But 29 is 29, dude. They're not going to come back from 29 points down with 4.5 minutes left. I would have taken him out a minute earlier, and it just sucks. It sucks, and then he breaks his face, and then here we go. He misses the first couple games against Miami. He's got crazy migraine symptoms and stuff. He's concussed. They lose both games at Miami.
In very ugly fashion.
Ugly fashion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was. You can't excuse Joel in the next year, but this year, the Harden disappearance in this playoff series was outrageous. I mean, it was a James Harden special. You think he can't do it every year, and he does it every year. So
this was Maxey was really he's ascending in his second year already. He averaged 20 points a game in that Heat series. But they lose first two games. They end up winning both games in Philly. Go back to Miami 2-2. Embiid's there. He's not playing perfect, but he's back. And they lose game 5, 120-85. Unpleasant.
Yeah.
And then they lose game 6 in Philadelphia. And Jimmy walks out saying this.
Tobias Harris over me?
Now, also, that's gaslighting. It wasn't Tobias Harris over you. It
is
a
little gaslighting, but when someone drops an iconic line like that after winning a series on the way back to the locker room, you can't actually them with context.
Yes,
he kind of just got us, man. He got us.
Yeah.
Super sad. And then
we go into
they pick themselves up.
Yeah.
They do it again, and they win the most games of the Sixers era. And Joel 54. And Joel wins MVP. Averages 33, 10, and 4. On crazy shooting. This is Doc's last year. And he is. Oh wait, no. Sorry, that was the year Embiid won MVP. That one.
Yeah.
Wait, no,
which
I'm
one?
wrong. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm wrong.
this is the year.
I'm skipping a year. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is Doc's last year. This is the year he wins MVP.
Yeah.
I'm on my honeymoon. They sweep the Brooklyn Nets. I'm watching it from my phone at a bar in Nice. I come back, even though people told me not to, rightfully so. And they got the Celtics for revenge. B-Ball Paul has a good game one in a win. Harden goes off in game one without Joel. Harden has 45, 7 of 14 from deep. B-Ball Paul does his thing. God bless him. Maxey playing well. Everybody feeling good. Then they lose game 2 by 34. Lose game 3. Edge in game 4. Sixers win by 1. Do you remember that game? I don't remember how they win that game by 1.
No, I don't remember the last play of the game.
That's the Harden 3 with 19 seconds left to take the lead, and then they didn't get a shot off. The Celtics didn't get a shot off at the end of regulation. And then Sixers win game 5, up 3-2. Up 3-2 going back to Philadelphia. It's all in front of us. Joel's there, Harden's playing great, and they lay the biggest egg in Sixers history, losing 95-86. Harden in that game, 4 for 16, 13 points, 5 turnovers. Joel played well, Maxey played well. Nobody else on the team did jack shit. They shot 36% as a team. And then we go back to Boston on Mother's Day, game 7. I'm watching at my mother-in-law's, and they lose by 1 million, and Tatum drops 50.
And the only guy that shows up in game 7 is PJ Tucker, who I think hit 3 threes in the first quarter or something like that. You could tell he was Now, which was the game where PJ Tucker yelled at Embiid and they won? Was that game 5?
One of those.
Yeah.
One of those, yeah. CJ, you want to show us something from game 6? The collapse?
Yeah, this is game 6. They're up in the fourth quarter.
Harden gets back to Brown. Here's Tatum. Fires over Embiid. Got it! Finally, Tatum connects from deep. His first in 7 attempts.
Cold.
Little quick sit dribble, Tatum. That's 2 in a row.
And he gets hot
Jason
late.
Tatum, welcome to Philadelphia. Tatum sets off the smoke detector, missed the shot. And here comes Harris. Quickly up to Maxey. Draws the foul from Brogdon. Tatum sets the screen. Smart over Harris. Tough shot.
I hate that Marcus shot. Marcus Smart shot killed me.
Steps through, got it knocked loose, and a foul going to go against Al Horford.
I
Bad
think
call.
They might use their review here.
Yep.
Challenge is successful. The defender legally gets
Oh,
the
there you
ball.
go.
Correct call.
Philadelphia ball on the sideline.
Sixers down 5 at this
Tatum
point with 2
slips out,
minutes left.
fires the 3,
There's
made
Tatum
2 in a
again.
row, make it
Easy.
3.
Just
Jason
crushing.
Tatum,
Down
not
8.
always there when you call, but always on time. Tatum with the 3.
The Tatum explosion towards the fourth in the last 3 minutes of this game.
In the fourth quarter.
Just absolute torture, man.
Yeah.
Absolute torture. And then we don't need to see game 7 because that game was over in a minute and a half.
Yeah, yeah. And then they never made the playoffs. Oh no, we made the playoffs the next year.
Yeah, so they fired Doc.
Yep.
Nick
Hire
Nurse
Nick
comes
Nurse.
in.
Yep.
We're excited about it.
And we have the Harden trade. So the Harden trade didn't happen happened 2 weeks into the season?
Yeah. So Harden holdout after that because he no-showed in game 7.
And it kind of felt like a hodgepodge sort of almost pause year in that they didn't really have time to put together the sort of roster I guess they would have wanted to with the Harden thing happening there, but they're actually better than you expect them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel Embiid is having a historic scoring season. Was he averaging 35, 36 points when he ended up getting hurt?
Yep. Him and Wilt, the only players ever averaging over a point per minute.
And then Jonathan Kuminga falls on his knee. Embiid has a torn meniscus, comes back has a meniscectomy, comes back in 6 weeks or something, and then hurt it again against Orlando.
Orlando, yeah.
Yeah. And then we faced the Knicks, who look, the Sixer team was good.
Well, the Sixers were in the play-in.
Oh, right. They beat that was the Batum game.
Yep.
The Batum 3-pointer game.
Yep.
And we beat the Heat to get into this. And then we ended up playing the Knicks. So it was a 2-7 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when the market opened on the game, I think the Sixers might have been favored, and then it quickly swung to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Sadly, it felt like one of the best. The Sixers tried really hard in this series, and it was probably the best Embiid playoff series against a good team, I think.
Well, yeah, he had a couple in there. This Embiid's clearly not healthy,
game
but
in here.
Had a 50-point game and ended up averaging 33, 11, and 6.
Yeah.
Just didn't have any lift whatsoever. So the Knicks got offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Mitch Robinson, Hartenstein, Josh Hart, of course. And then it was the decision of whether to double on Jalen Brunson or help on or not and leave Josh Hart wide open for 3. Josh Hart shoots 43.2% from 3 for the series, and they lose. And the Nick Nurse non-timeout, if you remember from game 2, I believe, was very frustrating because Maxey ended up turning the ball over. But then Maxey comes back and has his sick play to win one of those games. But it's not enough. What do we got, CJ? We got the Josh Hart 3. Let's watch one of those because those were torture.
Yeah.
He was on him at the end and causing that turnover in game
Tie
5.
game, 35 seconds left. Brunson on Oubre on him. Oubre and Batum go over to Brunson. Swung over to Josh Hart. He's wide open, top of the key. Bang.
Crushing.
This sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Why did I suggest this?
Yeah, this was horrible. This one really, because I was kind of proud of how they played in this series overall. Yeah. Joel had the one game that he played poorly and he was bitching out toward the end of the game, and then in overtime comes in and plays really well defensively and ends up putting it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
They won game 5. Maxey had 46 in game 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrese was great in that series. He shot.
This was a horrible
48, 40, 89 were his splits, and then 35 and 7. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He's just like doing it all for them. And that is the Tobias Harris doing less than nothing for pretty much the entire series. He finishes with 9 and 7 despite playing quite a few minutes.
9 and 7 average.
9 and 7 average.
0 points in the final game.
Yeah.
0 points.
Yeah. There's whether it's Simmons, Harden, or Tobias, those years back to back of the it's this guy's last year on the team and he is crumbling before our eyes. He does not want to be here. He already knows it's over. This is just get it over with already. Nick Batum became incredibly crucial to this team's success. Only him and Kyle Lowry were just showing people how to throw pass entry passes. Campaign got hot for a second there. Buddy Hield had one good half. Remember? Yeah. Melton got hurt.
Dude, I forgot the Buddy Hield thing came out of nowhere, and people kept saying, "Oh, why wasn't Nick Nurse playing him?" As if the weeks prior of Buddy Hield refusing to shoot threes, so he didn't go under 40% for the season, so he could get his bonus, didn't actually happen.
Yeah,
he was fucking unplayable 4 weeks.
No, there's a lot of stuff to get on Nick Nurse about. The Buddy Hield that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
And so those are the 7 playoff brutal disappointments, or knife in the gut, or stab in the ear, all different flavors
Sixers
that we have had to deal with, and we've been here for them all.
Well, and by the way, this is a good quick transition into the fact that we talked about on the last pod about Meow Mix. Meow Mix.
Let this be the last thing we talk about, because I got to roll after this and coach my wife.
Yeah. So the Meow Mix, the Carolina Panthers podcast, quit last week because they couldn't take the time away from their family and it was too much a commitment, mostly because the team was too bad. Yeah. And then immediately the following Sunday, the Carolina Panthers score a miracle win, teaching you the lesson, you cannot stop.
Yeah.
It's up to them to stop.
Yes.
The team has to stop, not you.
That being said, I wouldn't mind threatening at the end of every podcast that
we're
this
never
is our
gonna do
last
it
podcast.
again and see what happens.
Just to see,
if
maybe
it
they'll
works.
win, maybe they'll keep winning. And we'll have to begrudgingly come back and do 2 podcasts a week on these motherfuckers.
Come back, Meow Mix. Come back, Meow Mix.
I don't know. At this point, I think like them coming back, maybe
Yeah.
they did a podcast. I didn't say anything. We don't know them aside from the story that they quit. But it's very funny, and it's you really need to use the podcast as a way to punish the team that you care about. And if you're doing it in any other way, then you're not doing it correctly.
The Meow Mix has not. They did a podcast on Sunday. It says Meow Mix podcast update. We discussed the future of Meow Mix.
So that was before the game.
Yeah, it was on the day of the game.
It
came out the day of the game.
That's so funny.
For Meow Mix.
Just declaring these guys our enemies for I haven't listened to them, don't know anything about them. But
fuck those guys.
Quitters. Fucking quitters, dude.
Fuck Meow Mix.
Oh, you've been doing it since 2019? Oh, family?
Oh.
Grow up.
Yeah. All right.
You should have been rooting for your team to lose that game. I hope you didn't even experience joy in it. You just feel stupid.
Dummies. We will talk to you next time. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah. I feel like my demons have been expunged and exorcised.
Gone. Yeah.
And this is the year. So I will end it with, this is our last podcast, as everyone else will be after this. Yeah, lick face.